actually tonight we call it Tu BShvat, but really it's not Tes and it's not Vav. It's really Yud and Hey. 15 in Hebrew is Yud and but because we don't want to overuse God's name in ways that are separate with actual prayer, so we change it to Tes, the letter before the Yud, and Vav, the letter after the Hey, which is the same numerical equivalent of 15. But really, the idea is there that the Tu BShvat is really the name of God, the Yud and the Hey, the first two. The Yud is like the seed, the kernel, and then the Hey is the expansion of it. But it's still all on the highest, most sublime level. That we to elevate the lower dimensions, the Vav and the Hey, of this the last two letters Yud Kei Vav Kei, to the level of Yud Kei. As it says that when Mashiach comes, Vayemahu Yiyeh Yud Kei Vav Kei Echad U'Shmo Echad, and it's brought down by the Kabbalists that when Mashiach comes, the name won't be Yud and a Hey and a Vav and a Hey. It'll be double Yud and Hey, Yud and a Hey, Yud and Hey. The Vav will become a Yud. That this world that we're in now, Yetzirah, the world which we see as Vav, which is the connective line from our lower dimension to the higher dimension itself, will be elevated, and will be on all pure Yud Kei. So in a way, this is also the idea of the tree, or the potential of the seed too. We were talking about before. That it's like we're reversing actually from the lower level and going back to the source, to the innermost potential, and getting back to that very top Yud. Also in our parsha, we have about Yud Kei without the Vav Kei. That's in the end of the parsha when we speak about the Amalek, right? The last verse of our parsha is Vayemer, right? That Moshe said, Ki ya al kos Yud Kei, because the hand is on the kos, which is kos, not the cup, means the throne of Yud Kei. It's one of the few times that only says Yud Kei without the Vav Kei, because the idea is that we're going to before the full materialization of the divine, and what we do, God's name is in half, only Yud Kei without the Vav Kei, and the seat of Hashem is in half. It's Kaf Samach, not Kaf Samach Aleph. But then when we eradicate all the negativity as personified by Amalek, then it will go in a way that Hashem's full name will flourish in this. And as I said before, not just that the Vav Kei comes to the picture, but the Vav Kei itself is elevated to Yud Kei. So
Baruch is realizing that Tzimtzum, Tzadik Mem, the Adbash of Tzimtzum is Hey Yud.
Wow. Right, the Yud, very amazing. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Beautiful word. So in also going. That's the Heya.
I'm gonna mute. Yeah.
So there's a beautiful, and there's also going up actually. So that's beautiful.
Sorry, that was a deep Torah. I was muting Elliot, but he was saying, hey.
Yeah, I heard that. Right. He's echoing that.
That's what you say.
Yeah. They say the word that the atbash, from the word mitzvah, the yud, the atbash of yud and hey is mem tzadik. So that mitzvah, the vav hey is the same, and the mem tzadik is the atbash So it's related because Tzimtzum is also it's tzaddik and a men. So there's that connection. So
is Hebrew meats is juice, like from the fruit.
yeah, in modern Hebrew.
Modern
It comes
Hebrew,
from the
modern Hebrew, archaic Hebrew, whatever. Yeah.
well, yeah, maybe it's before modern Hebrew, but it comes from the word limtzos, to suck, to draw, to squeeze. Yeah,
To squeeze. That's why we hug each other.
right. So that's the mitzvah, the mitzvah hug, right? Hug a tree, right? Valdik. All right. So we have so with that said, we are going out of the world of Yetzirah, which is because it also represents different malachim, the Chayes HaKodesh, and we're going up to this. I think this Srafim, because it's the level of emotions, of the positive animalistic elements. As we spoke about before, that even the animals are part of praising Hashem with the Shira at the splitting of the Red Sea and in other ways. So Mamish, may we take the best of our inner animal and elevate her even higher and Mamish go to up and up. You know, it says v'chayot, and the animals ratze v'shoyt, and go up and down. So just remember, as much as tonight we're going up the worlds, but there's also a landing. It's not that we go up and we just stay flying. It's the way I like to see it is not just we're going elevating in the sense that we're leaving what's lower to go higher, but rather with elevation, we're expanding. We're still down here, but we're just reaching higher. Okay? So when we speak about in these ways of Kabbalah Chassidus, having highs and aliyahs, it doesn't mean to detach from what's lower. It means to raise the bar, so to speak, to
include,
to keep our feet on the ground. And not only that in a way it brings out the greater. It says that the infinite, our Sof, is lamayla mayla adin kates lamata mata in tachlis. It goes all the way up, it says in Zohar, and all the way down. It's not that it's two lights, it's infinite. Because it's infinite, it can reach infinitely both up and down. So the more we reach up is, in a way, think of it also in a way, it's also reaching down in the process, meaning that we're tapping into what's higher in order to channel what's higher to bring it down here and even lower, right? To bring out more of the infinite, that it can reach even lower. So mamish, and that's in the sense of the tree too, that when the tree grows and the branches grow higher, what's happening underground? The roots are getting deeper. It's getting lower. It's getting nurtured. It's becoming more solid. So mamish, this is our process. This is our growth process here, at least of these four levels. You know, in 20th century psychology, they're all different models of levels of growth. Eric Erickson, Piaget, and all those. Is it 3 levels, 4 levels, 7 levels, this and levels? Whatever it is, we already have it down, and of course each level, there are details in each level, but in general we see it in the 4 worlds, the 4 elements, the 4 letters of Hashem. It's all 4, which again is sort of also reminds us of the Seder, which is always full of 4 cups, 4 suns, and 4, right? So Mamish, maybe we keep on also the 4 stands of the throne, the 4 legs of the
4 worlds, the 4 doors, the
4 what? 4 generations, right?
4 doors.
4 doors, right? Oh, you're saying it in the shamanic ways.
In the shamanic way,
and in the Jewish way.
It makes a good share. If you're a guy selling shares, if you have 3 legs and 4 legs, you're bound to do better with 4 legs.
Right.
Yeah, 4 doors.
4 doors.
Yeah. Right.
The 4 doors through the 4 children. Apparently, the Delet is through the one that doesn't know how to ask anymore, has no words, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I was learning that through some Nachman.
Yeah.
The doorway to the next chapter is through that space of not knowing how to speak or ask or have words or understand or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as we said before, the 4 levels of knowing also. Pshat, Remez, Rush, Sod. The 4, it's called Pardes, the paradise, the 4 levels of, again, connected to tree. Torah is a tree. Eitz Chaim hi l'machazikim ba, we say, right?
That's how you know the Svardim are the real Yidden, because hard days, if you rearrange the letters, it spells Svard.
Okay. Oh, great. Well, Pardes is actually a Persian word originally. Paradisio, right? So, I don't know if
Pardisia.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's go to the third world on from way going in ascension, which is the world of Bria, creation. And here we're going to eat all fruit that's edible, both outside and inside. All right, I'm going to show it soon. So we're going to fill up our cups. And the cups, this one is legit half and half, okay? Half red, half white. And as Jonathan said before, right, not half white and half red, but half red and half white. As long as the cup is not half empty, that's the bottom line. Okay? Or half full, right? Okay, Gavaldic, so that's filled. And as a fruit, to show you again, the way I have it laid out for the evening is, of course, the grapes, both white and red grapes represent the white and red, so to speak, green technically. It's also one of the most important of the 7 species, right? The Geffen, it's also the source of the wine itself. And we said a prayer before you guys were on from the Ben Ish Chai, blessing for have good esrog harvest for the year. It's available. Excuse me. It's available in the chat. If Daniel or they want to see, or Ellie want to see it, maybe Jonathan could put it up again because they may not be able to have access to it. Or we also have over there a link in the chat to Aaron from Open Sitter, who's on with us, who's actually in Italy now, and shared it with his amazing resource of everything you wanted, all this liturgy and materials you want on Tu BShvat. There's a link to that in our chat and other things. So here's the grapes, and then and of course the tapuach. Tapuach is very important to Tu BShvat. This is the apple, right? Tapuch ba'atzei is ba'atzei yahar, as the version is, and the pear. Okay, so these are all edible fruit. But before the fruit, we're going to do the drink. And let me see okay, so this kavana includes both the drink and the fruit. So I'm going to put it up on the screen, and if someone would like to read it, that would be amazing. Okay, anyone there? Does any volunteer to read here this paragraph? Going once, going twice.
All right, if nobody else, I
Okay,
will.
Jonathan, great. Gavaldic.
This is the third cup.
Yes. We're after Magid, I suppose.
We drink our third cup of wine. We now have half a cup of red wine and half a cup of white, Even though the trees will be full and green and their flowers will blossom, their growth is not complete. So much more will be created. So much more is to come. These fruits can remind us of the wholeness of the world, where nothing is wasted and everything nourishes everything else. Just as we swallow their seeds and give from our own bodies to nurture them, so too do they represent a perfect symbiosis that we can strive for in all our relationships. We can take this time to look at the fruit of our own creations and actions and consider how to deepen our relationships in the world and with the earth.
Great. And if you mind reading maybe the discussion line or two here. When do you feel?
Discuss amongst yourselves. When do you feel truly whole and happy? Or describe a moment where the boundaries between yourself and Hashem and nature seemed to dissolve.
Wow, that's just a really deep one. So
I'm
thank you.
verklempt.
Beyond verklempt, you're opening up even more and more. So here we are. Hashem Yichud. If anyone, Daniel, do you have it? Do you have it like something to say before drinking the third cup, like a hini muchon mezuman or Hashem Yichud?
Well, what Suda and Shabbat would that correspond to? That's
This would be
second meal.
This would be Atika Kaddish. I'd say the third meal by now. Atika Kaddish, I'd say. But
Second meal. That's second meal in our results, right? Because
second
third meal
is
there.
Zerampin. Second meal is
Third-
Zerampin.
No, not in my siddur.
Oh, you're right. Atika Kaddish, Zerampin is because it includes Atika Kaddish. You're right.
Or
So
do you have an apple on that plate?
Yeah.
I'm doing like 40 hours of work.
So it's Chakal Tapuchin, no?
Oh, right. But we're just thinking Kabbalistically because Chagat Kaddish is the lowest level. It's Malchus.
All right.
And then Atika, the thing is, at the second meal, Shabbos, you reach up to Atika Kaddish, the highest level. And then
That's according to our result. Yeah, the second meal.
Third meal is Zer Anpin, but really, technically, it's higher than Zer Anpin. It's not Zer Anpin without Atik Kadisha. It's the way Atik Kadisha expands into.
It's the super included. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So whatever you feel, Daniel.
Atkin Sudato di Mehemenuta Shlamat Malka Gadisha Atkin Sudat the Malka. Dahi Sudata the Atiko Kadisho Zeranpin Vechakal Tapuchin Kadishin.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri agafe.
Amen.
Amen.
Why is it the tapuach that we keep talking about, like out of the fruit kingdom in Hebrew?
Why do we talk about it?
Yeah, why it's the name tapuach for fruits seems to be the dominant name.
Because it's something that swells.
Or if you rearrange the lower words, tapuach, it's patech.
That also could be related. It says tipach rucha means to make it blow up. Right? Like what's the word pom in French? What does pom mean? Also something like is
pamplemousse. That they have that in the seltzers flavors.
So the pom I think also means
not pom, but pom is apple.
Pom, apple, right? So it's like
pomme de terre is an apple of the earth or a potato.
Right, a potato, right. So that's ultimately, but why apple itself is of all fruits is called because other fruits also grow into maybe it was the most circular type of fruit of its time, something that they watch would swell. That would be the word, like swelling.
So basically, Rav Pom means he meant the abundance of the palm of the fruit of the apple fruit. Yeah. So that's why he was a big tzaddik.
I thank you, Hashem. I thank you. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. I thank you, Hashem. I thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you. What's that? Is that a pear? That's Ramona. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful pear. Where's the, oh, let's do it. Yeah. By the back when I was a kid, there was a from Jewish record. It was called the mitzvah tree. It was all the story of an apple tree. It was the mitzvah tree, and the apple falls off, and the kid finds it, and then there was always a song. Tell me and if you get what bracha do you make on the apple? Yes, he knows it. Yes, he knows it, and you know it too. Yes, he knows it. That's yeah. That's very. But we were saying before the Chakal Tapuchim Kadishe, the holy apple orchard. So the Tapuach is most actually signifies Malchus, right? The kingdom. Actually, according to the Arizal Kabbalah, there's 3 levels. It's Chakal, and then Tapuach and Kaddish. There's 3 levels in Malchut itself. That's why we say, right, the chakal is the land, the spread outness, the lowest. Then the fruit is itself, what's in there, and the holy condition is higher. And this is why we say Friday night 3 times Vayachulu. We say Vayachulu once in Shemana Esrei, the second time right after Shemana Esrei, and the third time in Kiddush. That they represent these 3 levels of chakal, tapuch, and kaddish. So the tapuach, as we spoke about, I don't know if you were on before, that tapuach is brought down. Kabbalah Chassidus is the food of the tzaddikim, because it has minimal maintenance. You have to do minimal avodah work for it. It's all spiritual. It's all edible, more or less. And even like in Shir Shirim and other places, we see how God's beauty and so on, and the Shekhinah's beauty is associated with the tapuach. Tapuach Batzeh, right? Kain Daidi Kain Avasi El Daidi, right? So maybe the schus, may we be full of the greatness and nourishment of the apple, the fibers, the sweetness, and
even the sugar.
Yes.
You know how you know that from the Nigudim? Cain,
Yes. Also, it's brought down in Kabbalah that there's different colors to apples. That there's the red apple, there's the green apple, white apple. It represents the different spheres. As mentioned before, that when the fruits are mentioned at the beginning of creation, especially with the Eitz Hadas, it's not just about the taste; it's about kitayv le'nayim. There's right. There's a visual aesthetic to it. Also, it's brought down in Kabbalah Chassidus that the apple, there's two general tastes. There's the sweet apple and there's the bitter apple. And it says in certain places that in a way, the bitter apple is higher than the sweet apple. Because the bitter apple, it says that that people have a greater taiva when they have the taiva to the bitter apple. It's way higher than to a sweet apple. There's something that dafka through the bitterness of the apple, the tanginess we could call it, the sourness even of it, that reaches to a deeper taiva, a deeper delight. So whatever type of apple you're into, take a bite in it, okay? Into the non-forbidden fruit. This is the totally permissible fruit. Chayim.
The interesting thing I learned about apples is that it's very mysterious what kind of seeds they will bear.
What do you mean?
They don't necessarily bear the same, and please correct me, anyone on this line who knows better than I do, but like they have a multiplicity of seeds that don't necessarily bear, like if you plant all the seeds of a Fuji apple, it won't all be Fuji. It'll actually be a plethora of different strains of apples. So the way that they make the apples they want is by splicing the trees, but the apples themselves their seeds are like very, very random and of very, very different strains.
That's incredible. Thank you for telling me that. I never knew that. And that so explains why there's so many different varietals of apples, even here in the New World, even here in New York State. There are all these different apples that basically were emerged from here. What I don't know if it's which are the ones I'm thinking of. Maybe not the Gala, which are the Empire apple, of course, and Macintosh is maybe also New. I think it's New England or something. But really, there was a period in the 1800s. There's crazy amount of different apples just started popping up. So maybe that's again a great mystery of the genetic potential to total infinitude and unknownness. So,
like apple in Hebrew, you rearrange the letters, it spells Pella.
Apple, oh, Hebrew, right? Pella. It's a Pella apple, right? Very good. Apple. We also have the grapes, of course, which is all edible. In fact, halachically, if you have a platter and fruits and all that, the first fruit you should eat is the grape. It's the most festive of them all.
Unless you desire and really like another one of them.
That is right. Thank you very much for saying that. Or like tonight when we're having a Seder, so therefore your desire is to have it in a different order, 100%. So we, of course, to have the grape too. Then you even make a different bracha achrona after it also. When our great rabbi or Rebbe came to someone's home, one of the ways they would test if he knows his learning is they would present him a platter of all different types of fruits, and then see which fruit he goes for first, second. And then they knew if he knew his halacha, his birchat tanenin. Bottom line is, enjoy it. That's the bottom line. Pre, right? Pre. This is what I was thinking. Also, pre is pei ratio, which is gematria 290, which is more than the 288 sparks. That it could be that the fruit contains something even greater than achieve and has within it even more than, because we say we eat to elevate the sparks, Nitzotzot, and the 288 Nitzotzot. The fruit may be the item that contains even more than just what we're trying to elevate, where we're trying to elevate plus, So may we be the most wholesome fruits, as we know that also our deeds, our mitzvahs and Torahs are considered fruits. As we say the mission in Peah, we say every morning, Damni Elu Dvam Yishem Shia, right? That Haperis Kayemes, right? Haperisehim Ba'elam Hazeh, Ba'karen Kayemes Le'elam Haba. All the good deeds that are mentioned there, right? Davening, learning, tzedakah, and all that. This is, we eat their fruit in this world, and its capital, its keren, its base is for the world to come. So, like basically, live on your in a way that you could eat endless fruits without affecting the tree itself in any deleterious way. So maybe mamish be surrounded with all this great produce, and in our spiritual fruit too. In the material that Aaron has, I'm going to put it again in the chat so the clever who came in later could look it up for themselves. But if you look here, you're gonna find all resources based on the Arizal and everything that goes into individually what each fruit represents according to Kabbalah. So it's the original Haggadah Pri Hadar, which was printed in the early 1700s, which you have in the link that I just put on now, for anyone wants to know the specifics of each fruit. Note, I did not include any berries or bananas or anything that you technically don't make ha'etz, you make hadam on, because even though we call them fruit, but technically we don't say ber ha'etz on them. There's could certainly eat it, but it's not considered fruit per se in the strict sense. Valdik. So now that we have this, I feel like we're already at Afikoman time. We're getting there. We're in the fourth world, and again, there's different forms of the Haggadah. As I mentioned, even in the one I'm sharing, there's two versions. I saw others like Rabbi Pinson and others have different versions. So, but we will follow the one in the sense of that the fourth world of Atzilus we don't have fruit, but we actually use scent, something like besamim. Okay, that seems like the way most people do it these days. I have almost an urge to sing Dayenu. Anyone wants to, but you can make your own ilus. I would love to sing a song of something. I think it's based on the Gemara of the Tana. I think it was maybe Rav Hanani, but Daiser, someone who came out. He came to a out in like near the wilderness, and he came across a lone tree, which helped it. It gave nourish, and there was a water stream underneath. So then he asked when he received nourishment from it, he spoke to the tree, and he said, "Elon, Elon, tree, how can I bless you for what you've done for me?" Right? So Sheyu Perisecha Metukim. That I bless you that with sweet fruits. Hari Perisecha Metukim. But your fruits are sweet. Shehei Yehei Tzilchana. That your shade, your canopy shade would be nice shade. Your shade is nice already. Ella, Yehiratzon. So what can I bless you? That may be the will of God. That Shekol HaNetiyah Sheyetzi Mimcha. That all the water streaming, all under you, or Sheyetzi Mimcha. Netiyah, so actually all the stalks, or all the plants that comes out of you, Yiyu Kamecha should be like you. So he says, you're a beautiful tree, your fruits are sweet, your shade is comforting, you have beautiful water streaming out underneath you. So what can I bless you? You have everything so great for you already. The answer, the blessing I could give you is that all the netiyos, all the branches, and all the future fruit that are to come out of you should be like you. Okay? So if you know, you can sing along. It goes like this. Elan, 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 Ba'amel rachecha. Elan, 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 Ba'me'avorachecha Teiroisecha misukim Etzilcha noeh V'yava masamayim Eretz tachtecha Your fruit are sweet, and your shade is pleasant, and a stream of water flows beneath you. Ella, 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 Ella yehi ratzon. Ella, 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 Ella yehi ratzon. Shekol anatiyos shayatzim meimcha yeyo kanoicha, that all the branches and fruits that come out of you should be just like you. Yeyo kawamavaicha, oh, shekol anatiyos shayatzim meimcha yeyo kawamavaicha, shekol anatiyos shayatzim meimcha yeyo kawamavaicha, yeyo kawamavaicha. Teira istecha misukim etzilcha noecha v'yava masamayim Eretz tachtecha. Your fruit are sweet, and your shade is pleasant, and a stream of water flows beneath you. So there. So may we keep on flowing, keep on bearing fruits. It says when Mashiach comes, this is the Gemara in Ksubis, I think. Mashiach comes, all barren fruits, trees will bear fruit. And there won't be any tree without fruit. And if I recall, it says also similar to what Ramona said earlier tonight, just like at the very beginning of creation, even the tree wood itself had taste and was edible like the tree itself. And that also will revert to that way, that everything will be luscious in that way. So may keep on.
Amen.
Yeah.
Baruch, I wanted to add the first pasuk that says "pri" in it is Bereshit 1:11. V'yomer Elohim tidashe haaretz asher esev mizriya zera eitz pri ose pri lemino asher zera bo al haaretz v'yichen. So the fruit that's developing here and that's ultimately reflecting in our actions, in our interactions with the creation, with the world, and what this tree did in the you're saying is everything should be like you. The water should flow that flows below you, that you reach out and you give tzedakah, you give nourishment to this passerbys. So V'yomer Elohim tidashe, the exact opposite of tidashe is esh dat lamo.
Wow.
It's the Torah. The trees are teaching us Torah, and the Eish Dad Lamo that Hashem handed down, it is hidden in this first pasuk. You're talking about the trees. It's all in there. It's all in there for us to absorb, to nourish, and then to fruit out again to those that are passing by.
That's so beautiful. I never heard that. It's a gewaldige Torah.
Now it's a chiddush.
You between you and Ellie, you can't have your own school of chiddushim. And here's the prayer that we shared earlier tonight for the esrog from the Ben Ish Chai that Jonathan gave us, and it begins with that exact verse that you read. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
So exactly, that is laying it down, and that it's H dot backwards is beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, so true, and that's again a connection I was saying before. The Eitz Chaim, that Torah is in being the living Torah, as they like calling it, Torah Chaim, because it's a real living being, mamish, within all parts. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fill up the fourth cup. So to me, it's fill up the fourth cup, and then we're gonna read the kavana, and then we'll do the breakfast. Okay, so filled it up. Does anyone want to volunteer to read the last kavana for the night? I see either Aaron or any. Are you up to it, or you have the screen, or are you up? Or
I'm up to it.
Okay, and then we have a tefillah later that we'll do with Ellie. You could read, and okay, we're gonna do
I just don't have any wine to make the bracha with.
Oh, I see. So we'll have you in mind, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and then just in Shabbos when you do, remember Italy has some great kosher wine. Maybe you can even find it locally. Who knows? Okay. There's the Bartanura and others. Okay, here. How about here? Now, for this paragraph here.
Okay. We now come to our final cup. The drops of white in the red remind us of the first cup of the Seder and of the cyclical nature of the seasons. This final cup of Atzilut represents what is invisible to the eye. Instead of eating fruit, we may enjoy sweet smells like cinnamon and rosemary. Beyond the cycle of eating is the cycle of breathing, where the stuff of life lives both within and without us at the same time, when it is so much a part of us that we cannot even see it. At this level, all things are already part of each other. We can have this kind of connection with the earth and with God. Like smells, the ways we remember this connection are subtle. The feel of the soil, or the smell of the dew, the color of the changing leaves, the sounds of birds migrating, or the clasp of a hand. This cup can remind us that even though we have many different experiences of the world and its creatures, and many kinds of relationships, all of it adds up to one world, one living universe, and that we are each one organ of that life.
Thank you for that. So now we're really connecting.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, sure.
That smells like bullshit.
All right. Well, it's the smell.
I'll explain to you why. Shit is bereshit. It's from the creation, where we come from, the smell, and not everything always smells as rosy as we would want it to smell.
Fertilizer smells like shit.
Fertilizer smells like shit. Compost smells like shit.
Gross.
Yeah, so it's very sweet, the poem and the wording and the bracha and the blessing, but there's a side of the smelling side where there's a like there's a term like it doesn't smell good, like that person doesn't smell good, that situation doesn't smell good. That's the Mashiach times.
Yeah.
It's actually when you could actually be mahavdil to see the choshech, the or, that when you could actually be on a level, and the Mashiach is the smell, the last cup, that when you could actually differentiate and say, no, that actually doesn't smell good.
Smells stinky.
That smells stinky.
Or it's just defining Ve'erecha b'merech vadayin that you're quoting about Mashiach is he will smell the good from the not good and know in that way.
You have to be willing to smell the not good to be able to differentiate between the not good.
100%. And there may even be a good thing in like we know the 11th of the 11 incense, samamanim, right? The chabayna doesn't smell good, but that enhances and brings out the smell of the other 10, makes it so amazingly beyond any the most sublime smell is dafka when you include some of even the bad smelling stuff in it. So that's the that's the uniqueness that we have in taka, and smell or olfactory is the deepest of our senses. Evolutionarily wise, it evolved before our sight, before our sound, and all that, right? It connects straight into our memory bank, and so on and so forth. So that is why it's most connected to the world of Atzilus, because everything we have in this world, the world of Bria, Yitzir, Asiya, the lower dimensions, is all a byproduct of extension of the way it's in its purest way, its form in Atzilus. So the way we can access Atzilus, even being down here, in a way, is on the most ephemeral, ethereal way, and these traces of smell that give us that passage way to.
Well, even the word reach nicholach, reach. If you want to break it down to a very simple, just the understanding of the word reach, ray is like a ray, like a sun ray, like light. A light that makes you go ach, ray ach. It's a ray ach.
And then there's also the verse
because in that ach, in that place that you might find the ach,
right,
in that ray,
right,
that is the ah. The ach, that like in that ach, and that smell that you're like that is actually the highest level once you can break beyond the boundaries.
Right. So I mean, it doesn't mean you should wallow in the crap for it. It means that we should know how to even elevate. Right. That they say that in fact in the Beis Hamikdash, the reason why they burnt the Ketoret was because of all the stinky carbon smells.
Carbon smell, yeah.
So they had to
balance
but
Hashem, but in the Torah it says Hashem, the stinking carbon smell was reich nichoach to Hashem, but to the humans it was like okay, cool, that's cool and all, but it still stinks like flesh, burning meat, shechting going on here. So let's elevate this. So it's a place where Shemayim met the Adamah.
Right. And very well put. And also there's that verse that says, see the pleasant smell, my son, the carbon. What's the connection of seeing with smell? Because as we're saying, that smell is the sense that creates this almost synesthetic crossover from one sense to the other. That the smell evokes could make us see better vision, could bring out better sound and so on, could accentuate our other senses. So it's the sense, the chush, that is the gateway for all the other chushim. And that is and precisely because it's non-tangible, it's a whiff, yet it's the deepest. It's the most pheromonal in that sense, right? It makes the most effect on us in certain ways. So that is the same thing. That tzilus, as much as it's quote unquote transcends us, it's beyond us. It's most least physical, and all that. So how do we have any access? The reach is the food of the soul. That's the way it's brought down in Sfarim. We have the food of the body, which is food. And then food of the soul is reach. And that's why also we smell the besamim, let's say Shabbos, at the end of Shabbos, because that's the time of bringing back the soul. It's not just bringing back, it's also because we're losing the neshama yisera, the extra soul of Shabbos. So we need to keep bringing back our weekday soul to ourselves. And so that is the besamim. It says, right, because otherwise by nafesh says by shenafash. The woe we're at the end of Shabbos, we have this woe that our soul has left us. So
even with the technology side, like everyone's seeing everything right now, right. So they don't know people are having a problem deciding what's good and what's bad from what they see. But there's still that level of that doesn't smell right.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we say, or we say.
So as we're in this technology, yeah, exactly. As we're in
intuition
right now, we're dealing with there's so much content, is what they call it. Content. You're in the producer, so we're beyond the side that where you could actually take your content and make a decisive decision. You have to actually go beyond your content.
Right.
What doesn't feel right? What doesn't smell right?
Right. So some people, when we say a person follows instinct, it's following the smell. Anyway, some stories are popping up, but it's not for now on the subject.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, whatever little quotes, things I just remember.
Now's the time is Tu BShvat.
Very, very briefly, back in 1989, there was the whole argument of the whole thing. The Rav Shach went out against Lubavitch, and so all the Chassidim were against him, snagged him, and there was a whole problem. They created their whole new Israeli party for the Knesset, Degel Torah, and the only Hasidic group that went along with Rabbi Shach was Belz. Belz the Rebbe followed Rabbi Shach, even though most Chassidim were with Aguda. It was also to defend Lubavitch, a whole long story. You don't want to go into all the details. That's why. I just remembered speaking with Rabbi Yael Khan when it was happening, and he said it yet. He says they asked the Belzer Rav, how do you know Rabbi Shach is the one to be with? You're going against all your fellow Chassidim. He says it's shmek as a maintenance with the MS. He says because I smell that Rabbi Shach means it for truth. He means it sincerely. He's not a. So I was with him on Montgomery Street in front of his house. He started speaking. Better than you get mad and make that a good kushareya. Because Belzer Rav was still young then. He would say, so Yael would say, who's this young man? He thinks he has a good sense of smell. He knows how to smell good.
Never realize that if you say the name of Shach in an Ivric way, that means more darkness. Rav Shach.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So the other thing with also smell is that it's obvious. Just like we say that neshama is with neshima, with breath. We know smell uses breath. That's how we smell, with breath. And also that the word is nafash, to bring a relief. That it's the effect of smell. So the word both nefesh and neshama is directly connected with smell. That's why we smell. But before we do that, and we go up and have klot nefesh. We'll go up in Tatzilut. We're going to drink the fourth cup, and then we're going to smell our psamim. Okay, I meet you up there right now in Atzilus. Okay, we're going up one more stage. Ready? Here we're breaking through cloud 9. Ramona l'chaim. And you see, even though we say we're giving up the food for Atzilut, but we never give up the wine. We're not drinking air. We're drinking. Okay, l'chaim.
That's funny.
Right? You remember cloud 9? Cloud 9 was
you tell other religions that like that Yiddishkeit, our religion, is so heavy with more like Islam is totally not into it. Christianity, you have to go to the church and give you a little shot or something. Yiddishkeit every Friday night 3 times. Every day is wine. It is. Thank God. I read somewhere, I saw Columbia University once, a book, a theory, I don't know if it's true or not. The reason that they were claiming that Jews have a less percentage of alcoholism. And one of the theories is because they're drinking it throughout in a permissible way. And
they're spreading it out over
to a right amount, so it doesn't become this thing that's prohibitive that you feel you have to go after and over.
When I did
they make you work with it. It.
Yeah.
When I was doing kashrus for Binyamin in Four Gates.
Right, 4 Gates.
1 year for
those that don't know, wait, stop. For those that don't know, Binyamin has his own amazing vineyard and wine distillery outside of Santa Cruz, and a beautiful farm. Okay, go ahead.
No, I had to go through this whole kashrus thing with the because he has a good hashkacha. Right. So like I'm Shomer Shabbos. Listen, I was being very honest, which made it even harder for them to give me the kashrus. And like for the mashgiach was sick, he couldn't come. This was like 15 years ago. Because I asked Binyamin, like, why Geffen? We're squeezing with these bladders, the whole grapes, the wine. We're making wine for like a couple weeks. I'm like, why Geffen though specifically? So he said to me, because of the word Geffen. Geffen is like guf nun. And like we squeeze the grapes on this level of the nun to get to the yayin, the yud nun. And like how grapes are unique that like if the grape embraces the squeezing, the stress of life, it can become an intoxicating juice. Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't, it's still not nothing, but it's vinegar now. Vinegar is very valuable, but it's like, so it's like, but Hashem's trying to teach you how to elevate the week to week. That's why we do Merkadash shit on Shabbos, because Hashem's squeezing us all week long. How do you want to take that week? Do you want to look at through the Tovo, or you want,
Very good, very well put, and right, exactly, and having it in the right way, and it's also to get, of course, we know the idea of the preserved wine, the intoxicating wine, yayin hameshumer, yayin hameshtakir, the wine of Mashiach will be that it's been stored from the 6 days of creation, the best vintage that will be when Mashiach. Just like we say, the light is stored for the Mashiach time to come out, and it's great, so too the wine, and it represents also the deepest of Torah, as we know, and then Kabbalah, Chassidus, the Sod. Right, nichnas yayin yatsa sod. The Gemara says, if you put yayin into someone, comes out sod, comes out secret. So we see that the secret, in this case, secret of Torah, is associated with wine. Again, like you were saying, squeezing it, nurturing, distilling has to be perfect. Also, the gematria of yayin and sod are both 70. So that we have that connection, and Torah, as we know, is connected with 70. Torah is like it's translated into 70 languages. 2 weeks into on the BShvat that happened, Moshe Rabbeinu, and there are those that do connect that directly with Tu BShvat also. That the 70 language coming out, emerging from BShvat of the translation of the Torah into foreign languages. It has to do with also with the coming out of coming out into the world. bearing fruits for everyone to be kept in the bed. So it's a universal element.
But iron 70 is iron.
Right.
Which is I.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Iron you. Okay. So okay, let's see. Okay. So we're basically like we're at the end of Hallel, right before Nirtza, so to speak. Oh, let's do the Besamim. With all that talk, take the whatever Besamim you have. I have here. I'm not even sure, but it's something of scent nature. Got it a while ago, and make the bracha. I'm going to put it on the screen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam b'yidei atzei v'samim.
Amen.
Some say mine. So in the Tu BShvat Haggadot, I think the Parshat Beshalach itself, it mentions cinnamon to smell.
Ooh.
Not sure if I have cinnamon specifically, but if you have, it's one of those words that are similar in Hebrew and English. The word is kinamin. Right? So all the more, if you have even a wood that smells good, like cedar, what have you. So this is okay. And then one last thing. So we'll just do one last thing for the Seder, and then we could keep on flowing afterwards. Okay. Just want to give it some Seder to the Seder. There's a beautiful blessing, a prayer here, which is actually adapted from the Parshat Beshalach, Tu BShvat Seder, which I think Rabbi David Seidenberg translated here too. I don't know, Aaron, if if it was translated before you have it. It seems it's a little.
It was the prayer is in the Priya Tadar that Miles Krasson translated, and this is Reb David's own separate work.
Separate. So he says over here, adapted from.
Mm-hmm.
So meaning it has the same. It's a little shorter, I assume, because if I recall from years past, I saw it, that this is a shorter version of it.
That's right.
Okay.
He made two versions. There's the long one and the short. This is the short.
Okay. So having said that, who would like to volunteer and read this? Maybe someone who hasn't read yet. Maybe Miriam, would you like to? And you could read it also in the English translation. Or one to read it. Do you want to do that? Are you there?
Mary, right now.
Oh, she went out? Is
She can't see it with her new eyes.
Okay. With her new eyes?
She's new Eisenberger.
Oh, new eyes. I see.
Hey, Miriam, here. Hey, man. You want the translation part?
Yeah, why not? And if someone wants to do the Hebrew, you could please go feel. Ellie, you want to do the Hebrew, Miriam the English, something like that?
Okay. Can you make it bigger?
You got the English.
Yeah. Let me do that.
Not on your phone.
Bigger? Can you make it bigger?
Yeah, here. How about that? Is that better? Maybe even more.
You have to adjust a little.
Okay,
I'm gonna help Miriam.
I can't read close anymore.
Oh, God who makes forms, creates and emanates the spiritual worlds. He made trees and plants grow from the ground in their shape and pattern above, so that this tent of creation may be joined together as one to become as a holy sanctuary. And this full moon is the beginning of your work to renew and ripen the fruit and trees. So we will be filled the days of ripening the fruit of the supernal tree, the tree of life in the midst of the garden. May it be your will that our eating and blessing in these fruits now and our meditating over these roots above will rouse their spiritual sap and make the flow of love and blessing and pure gift flow upon the trees to make them grow and bloom for good and for blessing, for good life and for peace. May the whole of creation return now to its original strength. May the rainbow appear rejoicing and be glorified in its colors. And may all the sparks of divinity scattered by our hands, by the hands of our ancestors, by the injury the first human committed against the fruit of the tree, return to be included in the majestic might of the tree of life, l'chaim.
Amen. It's a chaim l'chaim. Amen, amen. And that's true. That's also has to do kabbalistically that now in our world we're still on the level of the tree of knowledge, because there's good and not and the opposite of good. It's a das tevera. So that's even in learning. That's why our learning has a lot of questions, like Gemara, a lot of confusion stuff. It's a mix. Whereas when Mashiach comes, the Torah and the world existence will be like the Eitz HaChai, the tree of life, where there's no questions or everything will be known, and Kulam Yedu Eisi, as it says, everyone will know the divine and everything straight up, and won't need it to go through any what's the word? Any left brain analysis, right? We'll have right. We'll go straight to the right brain way. And mamish, this is what we are tapping into, and this is also why the Stopka the Kabbalists that were so into this Tu BShvat Seder, because they had a sense of this primacy, this yearning for the tree of life, for this state of revealing the sod, the secret, the mystery, on the highest level, and not just to keep it a secret. The whole point of Mashiach and world enlightenment, let's call it, is that the secret is shared by all. So still has the potency and the great that great aura of its being a secret. Yet everyone, no one owns the secret. We're all in it. We're all in on the same secret, or coming out with, as they say, open secret, and that is again why Dafka in these generations we've come to this point of where we're able to reveal even the greatest teachings of Torah that they haven't in past generations, both in Kabbalah and Chassidus ways, and even practically, it's unprecedented time that great Kabbalistic teachings have been in manuscripts for centuries. It's only been revealed these days, and this is also the end of what from our parsha, which is Exodus from Egypt, the coming out of the Gulf from Egypt, from the narrowness of Egypt, and to come to a state of revelation towards Mount Sinai. So too, in the inner teachings too, this is the time of the emergence of the tree of life, letting it grow, letting it sprout, letting it flourish all over in the highest levels. And just connect this to our parsha, where in our parsha we say, right, that when we left Egypt, that I'm just going to mute you guys for a second. That Bnei Yisrael Yaitzim Biyad Rama, right when it says before the splitting of the Red Sea, when they ran out of Egypt, before their right, it's that the people of Israel came out Biyad Rama. Now, Biyad Rama. So it is what if you look in the Targum Onkelos, in the words Biyad Rama. I just want to share it on the screen. Biyad Rama, the Onkelos says Bereish Gulei. With not Biyad Rama literally means with a high hand, right? But the Targum Onkelos, which usually is very literal, here is one of the few exceptions where he leaves the literalness and he gives it another translation. He says Bereish Galei, which means with a revealed head or revealed top. Now what is this revealed head, revealed top? So the Zohar says that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is going to that the God told Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai that with your sefer the Zohar yifkun begalusa b'hai sefer dilach yifkun begalusa that everyone will be that the Yidden will be the world will leave exile. That means that the Torah that is of Primis HaTorah, the Torah of Kabbalah and Chassidus, is the ticket, so to speak, to get out of Golus, okay? So now on this word, just to cut to the chase, and then we can say a little more. The word is head, right? So what is this head? Look at the 4 letters. Beis Reish Yud Shin. So the Baal Shem Tov's grandson, if we were more into learning inside, I would have done this because it's great to learn it inside, but I'll just share with you what he writes. That the Degel Machne Ephraim, we spoke about him in the past. He was the youngest, he was, you could call him the youngest disciple of the Baal Shem Tov, and he was close with his grandfather, so he got a lot of Torahs from him. So he brings down a couple let me just let Sticky back in. So he brings down that Bereish is an acronym, Rashi Tevis, for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Okay, that the Torah of Rabbi Shimon Yochai, which is Pnimis HaTorah, will bring Galei, reveal. That's the revelation that will take us out of our contemporary Egypt. So too, it's also the acronym for the name of the Arizal, Rabbi Isaac Luria. Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shloimeh is also Bereish. Okay? Which is Aramaic for head, Reish. That means through the Torah of Lurianic Kabbalah. And then he adds, and if based on this, we could say that it also goes on my grandfather. This is how we write it. Wait, I hear stuff. Could you mute yourself, please? Okay. He says, you could say this on my own grandfather. That Beis Reish Yud Shin is an acronym for Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem. Meaning that through the Torahs of these 3, of the Zohar of Shemei Yochai, the Arizal's Kabbalah, and the Baal Shem Tov's Chassidus, this will take us out of Golus, out of exile. And in Chabad, they like saying, I think the last Lubavitcher Rebbe said this, that Bereish is also an acronym for his father-in-law, who is Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, whose Tu BShvat was his yahrzeit, that he is Rabbi Yosef ben Shalom. So Chabad has its own edition, and it also the Chabad Chassidus also. So here we see the combination of how the secret, the mystery of Torah, and the tree being the Torah and the coming out is connected with redemption itself, as found in our parsha. And just to build on that, and to add on what we said earlier tonight, that I was sharing that the word Elon, Aleph Yud Lamed Nun, as you see on your screens, is gematria 91, which is also the gematria of Yud Kei Vav Kei and Aleph Dal Nun Yud. Yeah, Yud Kei Vav Kei and Adonai, it's also 91, which was also Malach. So what's the connection between the two? So the story is like this. There's a lot to talk about in this, and we could talk about it other times more in detail, but in very brief, all of creation, the divine God powers as manifested through God's names, is most expressed in this world through these 2 names of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei and Aleph Dal Nun Yud. Okay? That's why you'll see in Kabbalistic Sidurim that there's this thing called Shiluv, Yud Kei Havayav Elikim. Shiluv means something like this: a way you write where you put one letter interchangeable with I'm doing it now as we're speaking. Yud Aleph Hey Dalid Vav, Nun, Hey, Yud. You'll see this is the most standard shiluk, like weaving in the two names of God with each other. Okay, this shows the whole gamut of God's manifestation in this world. In general, Yud Ke Vav Ke is the upper realms. It's true that the last two letters Vav Ke come down into the world, but it's still in this way of most pristine, pure God state. The way God, even when it comes down in the world, is not fully manifested in the world. However, Adonai, Alf Dal Nun Yud, which is supposedly the lowest level of God's names, even lower than Elokim, Adonai stands in for Elokim in this respect. Adonai, which is Adon Olam, is God's direct relationship with the world. So, right, or even if you remember, we learned a while ago, Aleph Din, it's the way the Aleph, the God, is manifests in Din, in judgment down here in the world. So this is all the way, it's most God, concrete state of God, as fully manifested in the world. So when we put the two together, we're bringing these two elements of God together. In general, the Yud Ke Vav Ke is known as Yichud Eilah, the supernal unification or unity of God, is of godliness. And Adonai is Yichud Hatah, the lowest state of unity of God's of godliness. And so there's the way it's brought down in Kabbalah Chassidus, there's the upper unity, the lower unity, and then there's the ultimate unity, which is the unity of the two unities to become one, which is represented in this Yud Aleph Hey Dal Vav Nun Hey Yud. Okay. Now notice that in this sequence, it begins with Yud and ends with Yud. It begins with the Yud Ke Vav Ke and ends with the Yud of Adonai. Right. So taking it back to here, it says Biyad Rama with a high hand. Biyad, you could also read it as Biyud Rama, with the high Yud. We know from other where it says on Tehillim, the Gemara says don't read as Yadecha, your hand, but it's Yudecha, to open up your Yuds. So Yad and Yud Yad represents Yud, and Beresh means the head, the kappa. So meaning when Mashiach comes, the lowest level of Yud will be the Yad Rama, will be the highest Yud, will be Beresh at the head, at the beginning. At that, the lowest Yud usually represents the sphere of Malchut, and the first Yud, the highest Yud, the lowest Yud from Adonai is Malchut. The highest Yud of Yud Ke Vav Ke represents Chachma or even Keter. So that's what we're saying, that with redemption, that this is the idea of leaving Galus to reveal that godliness, that reveal and elevate even the lowest Yud to the highest Yud. Okay, so that is mamish, and once that is done, then we could go and we can experience. We're ready to the splitting of the Red Sea, which is right, the Kriyas Yam Suf, which that is that is mamish the segue into to give you the Torah. So there's all it's all a it's all leading to the same idea. And that's why already tonight on Tu BShvat, when we say, therefore, Elon is gematria, Yud Ke Vav Ke and Adonai, 91, we're saying that the tree, it manifests both levels, the highest unity and the lowest unity, and how these two unities are united as one. From that, you could see that almost like the sequence, you start off with the seed, the kernel that grows, and then you end off with the seed for the future growth, right? So that is the cycle here. That is the way the infinite is fully is both infinite and in this world simultaneously, in our finite world, and it doesn't contradict that. So the Elon reaches to the highest levels and brings it down to the lowest levels and elevates the lowest to the highest. And that's why this is very special tonight, that we had this amazing Seder, where the time that we could bring and bring out and the high, as we were saying, all from the lowest levels of Asiyat, Hatzilut, and even higher. And Hatzilut, we say is the highest word, but really, I'll tell you, it's not such a secret. But if you learn deeper Kabbalah and Chassidus, you see that the Tzilut is just the starting point. There's way, way, way higher than Tzilut, right? It's like talking about, I don't know, in astrophysics, that until Galileo, they saw at one level, and then by Newton, they saw another level, and then by Einstein, another level, and now with quantum mechanics, even higher. Now with the Webb telescope, higher. I'm just saying, there's infinite, ironically, there's infinite levels above Atsilut itself. Well, in the past, we touched on some of them. So, and to me, what that means, that's represents by what? The oxygen, the atmosphere that's above the trees, which the trees have an interaction with. They produce the oxygen, the air comes down to us in that level. And so mamish, maybe we tap again to the highest levels and still have our roots well rooted, right? Okay. So so that is the Seder with little Parsha thrown in. I just wanted I just wanted to give a little closure to the Seder and then see where we're holding if we do want to continue a little more. Just a friendly reminder that whoever ate or drank tonight to make a bracha achrona, either ala gefen or priya gefen, or ala perot, ala priya perot, and bar nefashos rabbis, all the good blessings that are said in this occasion. And before we mamish finish, just wanted to if we wanted to sing together Eitz Chaim Hilon Achazikim Ba. I don't know what tune. I think there's the tune that we all know from synagogue. We could sing that together, and then we'll do one final thing. Okay? Who's going to come in? Unless you have a better song to Eitz Chaim, but the one we could sing the one that everyone knows, right? Eitz Chaim Pegin Amachazikim Ba Esailcha Neyosha Derachecha Takeino Vavoyam Echol Nesiva Yisrael Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Ve'noshuva Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim Shine, 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 Yishalayim Abnoya Shana Haba B'Gan Eden Shana Haba B'Gan Eden Shana Haba Gan Eden in this world, not in that world. Okay, just to be clarified. Shine, 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 B'Gan Eden Hayafia Shana Haba in a cold Big Ola Shana Haba Begeyola Shine, shine, shine Big Ola Hashleima. Wow. So now Chasal Siddur Tu BShvat, but as we say in Lebanon, we never say really it's over, it keeps on growing. We could say it's over, we could walk away from the tree, but the tree is going to keep on growing, whether we like it or not, So keep on growing. There's no end. There's no beginning. Just keep on. Even I might say, even if it doesn't come out perfectly straight, and as long as you're alive, keep on growing. Right. That's right. Anyone want to share anything more? Daniel, you want to l'chaim? What's that? L'chaim.
Yeah, this is the fourth coast. Did we say bracha?
Yeah, go ahead. I did, but you can go do it. No, do it. No.
This is beyond that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Amen. Jafen. The wine of Torah. And yes, and it's also a reminder that tonight is also
Meron, yeah.
It's Meron?
Yeah. Hajaf.
Beautiful. Hajaf. Very beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if the man could be any food taste you wanted, in like the parsha. If also the water, because not parsha is also two incidents with the water. The bitter water becomes sweet enough and becomes healing, and also the water that Moshe hit the rock. I wonder if that water could become it tastes like any liquid you want to. Could the water turn into wine, like some biblical miracle thing, right? Why not?
Why not?
Right. Yeah. So may mamish, we keep on flowing. There's a song in the Bible. She says, and we drink wine just like water. And we say to get all together, l'chaim. Tishma and you will listen from heaven. So mamish, mayim and chayim, it's all connected. Yayin, right? Shaftem yayin besason. Shaftem mayin besason. Mimaynea Yeshua. Mayim, 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 mayim. Mayim besason. Yayin, 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 yayin. Yayin besason. Hey, hey, hey. Yayin, yayin, mayim, yayin, mayim, yayin, besason, mayim, yayin, mayim, yayin. It's the irony that the whole year was they used wine, and only once a year, only the week of Sukkot was water, even though wine is less less prevalent, right? It's more chashuv. Yeah. So so may keep on pouring, flowing in the best of ways.
Oh man.
And may mamish be mamish refuah, like in our parsha, with the bitter word became the word of Ani Hashem Refecha. And that to mamish become the healing. And I'll tell you honestly, between me, I drink very little alcohol these days. I medically cannot for now, which is why I've been drinking grape juice tonight. So I'm looking forward to a time when I could take a drink with everyone without any hindrance.
Amen.
Amen. In the best of ways.
Amen.
And also remembering that the water is also with the splitting of the Red Sea. The Mayim lahem chayma, miminam nismailam, splitting the Red Sea. The water became itself a fort. Choma. It became a castle. It became protected. Though the Medrash says, interesting, what's choma is what's the word chema. That actually the water didn't really want to stay up the whole time. It started getting pissed off. It knew that the Yidden weren't ready yet, really purified. And they said, that it got like got too hot, like anger. That they said, why are we standing up and splitting ourselves for the Yidden to go through? We have to give them a good mikveh. You have to give them pour down, right? But then mimina and mismaila. But then remember that there's the Yaminam and the Smilam. The Yamin is Torah, right? Torah is on the right. Yamin, small is Mitzvot. Yamin is Mezuzah. The right side opposed small is Tefillin. So the schus of that and what the Yidden would do, that kept the water up. And these two elements of right and left were already manifested, were already revealed, let's even say, on a holy way already in Kriyat Yamsuf, because the question is when Mashiach comes, and we know left is seen as negative, din, gvura, and so on and so forth. The right, the negative. So what happens when Mashiach comes? Is there still going to be left or not? Is it right? It's going to be only right? So the answer is yeah, there's going to be only right, but in an interesting way. Like we say that right, there's that the God, quote unquote, has two hands. We speak about now Yad Rama, Yad Chazaka Yagdol, we think is the right hand, but then other times it says that the left hand. There's two hands, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when Mashiach comes? So it's already in the song of the Kriyat Yamsuf. It says Yemincha Hashem Nedari V'Kayach, Yemincha Hashem Tirtz Ayev. That it won't be when Mashiach comes, won't be one right hand, but there'll be two right hands. There'll be the one for Koach, to bring out the Koach, the power, and then also Tirtz Ayev, to vanquish the enemy, sort of thing, the negative. When Mashiach comes, that left hand will become a right hand. So there'll be two right hands, and that's why we say when the Beis Hamikdash will be built, Mikdash Hashem konenu yadacha, and also we say in Aziyashir.
What's the source for that?
It's Kabbalah Chassidus, because it says that leis smala b'hayatika. I'm sorry, that leis taman lo smala v'lo din. When Mashiach comes, there'll be no left. But we have the psukim that say that there's. The question is like this. It's a deeper philosophical question. The question is, when there won't be any negativity in the world, will be already vanquished. Will we need duality? Will we need binary? Right now, our world works a binary. Yes, no, good, bad, and so on and so forth. Right. So that's the operation. That's the laws of our standard world. We say when Mashiach comes, everything's going to be revealed as only godliness. So we're going to get rid of the negative and the bad. So Bechura seems like it'll be all one, right? Why do we need to? So here's a deep Siddur. Chassidus says no, that even when Mashiach comes, there's going to be duality on some level. Only it won't be negative. It won't be positive and negative. It'll be two positives. In other words, to bring out the most of unity is not by effacing and eradicating duality or certainly multiplicity, and to say no, it's because then you're saying that the phenomenon itself is contradictory to the singularity principle. But if I tell you that there's going to still be duality, but that duality itself will be permeated with singularity, that's the highest chiddush.
You're also right.
What? Yeah, you're also right. Yeah, like right. So, are you doing that? You have the two right hands like that?
Yeah, two right hands.
Two right hands. Right there we are. Right. Gewaldig.
Yeah, but could you do Birkat Kohanim that way?
Right. Yeah. Maybe you get facing each other. Yeah, it's a good works. Yes, Dr. Spock. I mean, not Doctor, Captain Spock. First Officer Spock, totally. So this
Mr. Spock to you.
Mr. Spock. Yeah. So Mamish, and that is why also, which explains another thing, why our world is not just an illusion. It's not just a different reality than it will be when Mashiach comes. People think Mashiach comes, it'll be a revelation, then everything's going to be changed and different. According to this, no. Like the Rambam says, the world will operate just like it does now. The only difference is that this sense of separatedness, of bifurcation and what have you, it will be a feeling thing. We will feel the unity even though there is more than one thing about. So we won't, in other words, now binary is positive. One thing is the antonym to the other. Like even linguistics, good is defined that it's not bad, or evil is defined by it's not being good, something like that. But when Mashiach comes, the good, it will be existentially good, that they won't need its opposite, the other, to define what it is, because it all will be the good. It will all be all be permeated with the revelation of the essence of good, the atzmus of Hashem, of the infinite. So Memela, Therefore, in the multiplicity, in the duality, there'll still within that will be the sense, the awareness of the unity. That's why when Mashiach comes, we're going to still be doing mitzvahs aseh and mitzvahs lois aseh. The negative mitzvahs too. It's not like there won't be any, only positive mitzvahs, no negative mitzvahs. There'll be negative mitzvahs. Only the difference is that now we do it to get rid of the evil. Then there won't be any evil to get rid of, but we'll be doing it to get as like two wings of a bird or plane, to get higher, to bring out more, In other words, that the greatest unity is not brought out by negating the duality and multiplicity, but by that unity permeating through the duality and multiplicity so much that every individualistic element is aware of the unity, that it's all one. In as much as I have a right hand, even now, I have a right hand and left hand, right eye, left eye, and so on. But I'm one person. I'm one body. It's all connected. It's not like I'm thinking of as right versus left, right eye versus left. It just is me, So and with this in mind, therefore, when we work in this world now in the ways of this dualistic way, so to speak, which is our reality now, this is the process to get to that unity. Like we were saying before, that there's a Yud Kei Vav Kei and Aleph Dal Nun Yud, the upper unity, lower unity, but not that they're separate unities, but the two unities are united as a singularity, right? So that is the true sense of Echad. Echad is one that is one, but whether there is more than one around or not, it's still one. Okay? So with that, and that is what every one of us experienced at Kriyas Yamsuf was the beginning, the right and the left, in the most positive way, and why even the smallest baby saw the revelation, like Moshe Rabbeinu, and had the highest levels, and so bless us all to mamish. So I mean, it's good talk, but to really be there, to really feel it, to really sense it, as they say, sing is, when you know it, you feel it, you'll know it, you'll be it, and so may we take it on all levels, the Basiya, Yetzirah, Bria. That's the whole vert, that in every level, it's not that we're, like we were saying before, it's not we're negating Asiya to get higher, negating Yetzirah to get higher, negating Bria to get higher, but that we're bringing down the infinite into every level to show that it's all one. It's one tree, again, Elon, singular, right? Okay, l'chaim. There's a lot more to speak on the Parsha, of course, and we could go on talking about Man, Shah, Amalek, war, Kriyas Yamsuf, and all this stuff. But I just want to keep people, going. Do you want one more vart for the Parsha, or is it good enough? Or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm falling asleep. I've been up flying across the country.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to share that very quickly, that don't try to fight the Egyptians, that our Parsha's sandwiched with the non-war and the war. Running away from the Egyptians, there are those who want to fight. Hashem says, no, just go forward, right? Versus the end of the Parsha, Amalek, we're fighting. So basically, we've got to know when just to go at, when the enemy's behind, just go forward, don't get distracted. When the enemy's challenging confronting you from up front, then go on and fight. Okay. And also blessing to Eretz HaKodesh. There's been a lot in international court and other things invoking Amalek, relating it to our times because of what certain politicians said. So just know that our teaching of Amalek is the way to focus on it is purely on a spiritual level. That there's Amalek, which is safek, right? In the gematria, making something that's cold. So the Amalek that's around us, it's not the enemy outside. Sometimes it's within us, and just to overcome it and have the noble battle, the peaceful battle, the battle in the way that reveals, like at the end of the Parsha, the Kiyara Kos Yudke, they're revealing that Yudke, Bayemahu Yi Hashem Echad U'Shmei Echad, right? Amen, Amen, L'chaim, L'chaim, B'Shabbos,
Amen.
Shira. Don't forget to thank the animals and the birds for singing with us. Shabbos Shira. Don't forget the beautiful Shira of Devorah and Haftarah, the great woman warrior, great poet Devorah, and her schos and schos of all the nashim tzidkanias, all the righteous women. May we go with our tambourines like Miriam did at the Yam Suf singing Ashira Lashem. All right. And if anyone else is interested on Song of Splitting the Red Sea, highly recommended. You can look this up. Handel, who's most known, the composer Handel is most known for Handel's Messiah. He also made an amazing operatic composition to the song of the sea, of Moses' Song of the Sea, and he translates the whole Aziyachdir into English with beautiful arias and composition. I highly recommend you find it online. All right, good Shabbos, Daniel. Looking forward to seeing you.
Oh yes, Baruch.
I'm gonna go off. Stay hanging around. I just want to ask you something semi-personal. Just didn't want to go out on Facebook. Just
Sure.
a few seconds. Okay, everybody in Facebook. Good Shabbos, Facebook. Good Shabbos, and
Shabbos, bye Romana, bye Paul.
yeah. All right, they're there.